Javed Akhtar is the wittiest person I've covered on the channel, and you'll see exactly why in this clip.
I was once interviewing Karan Johar and I asked him, who's the funniest person that you know in Bollywood? And he just, like, without thinking, said Javed Saab is the funniest person in Bollywood.
He's a very frank and honest person. Yeah.
The first way to be witty is actually not what you might expect. Even the wittiest people aren't as spontaneous as you might think. After hundreds of interviews, they know what kind of stories and joke themes work.
That I should run away. And I don't know, I had selected a city. Every time when I would fantasize escaping, I would go to Sangli. मैं सांगली चला जाऊं.
That said, there are some principles that will help you. The first one is called twisting the frame. Here, you take what somebody else said and intentionally misinterpret it for comedic effect.
So, do you have a favorite joke?
I mean, Arya, in simple words, you are saying, are you a very boring person?
No.
Any person who has a favorite joke and narrates it every day is the most boring person.
One thing that's special about his sense of humor is that he doesn't make jokes at somebody else's expense. That kind of humor is great to get laughs, but it will also alienate people. By contrast, when somebody else makes a self-deprecating joke, he makes it a point to extend praise.
I've seen Javed Saab in a lot of intellectual conferences and literature festivals, and today he has really stooped down to 3 silly comedians. So first I want to ask, why and how did you agree to do this, sir?
I've seen some of your programs and they're very good.
One area where you will need this kind of quick thinking is during arguments. First thing to do is to clarify the meaning of vague terms. People can have different interpretations of the same word. So before you enter into any argument, make sure you clarify what vague terms mean.
That before discussing the words, decide the meanings mutually. So I want to ask you, what difference do you find between nationalism and patriotism?
Did you notice that he used the word mutually? This is important because this way you will only move forward when you are both in agreement. So you will be able to have a productive discussion instead of an argument. The next habit is conceding on points of common ground. Arguments can be tough because everyone digs into their position to win. Instead, when you see common ground, pause from the argument and call that out. If you do this, you will come across as more open-minded and you will also create connection during the argument.
And he said very rightly, and I totally agree with him, that you should be humble enough to accept that there are many things that you don't know.
Some people try to dominate the discussions and try to win at all costs. But unfortunately, those people also end up being disliked because nobody likes a conversational bully. But if you want to persuade someone in an argument, use logical proofs. Take their logic, accept it, and apply it to extreme situations. Technically, this is known as reductio ad absurdum, which means reduction to absurdity. In most cases, they won't like the conclusion of their own logic. Here's a simple example.
No daughter-in-law can ever make better food than the mother-in-law. So since last 4,000 years, the standard of cuisine in India is coming down.
And watch him do that here again, as he's asked about the characters of mothers he wrote in his movies.
So my mother is Adarni and worth worshipping. What about the mother of my children? Is she Adarni? Do I respect her? And when did my mother become so Adarni? I was born on 17th of January. Was she Adarni on 16th or not?
If you want to learn these habits step by step, make sure to join my email list below. People who've tried an early version of what I'm making report feeling confident in high pressure situations like job interviews. Moving on. At some point, we will all falter and make a mistake. But that's an opportunity for you to be more well liked. And the way to do that is to reframe regret. You have probably heard people say that they have no regrets. That's just a way of avoiding introspection. Instead, watch how he frames his thinking about regrets.
Of course, I have many regrets.
Okay.
What do you mean?
What is the top regret?
If you don't have regrets and you look back and you don't regret, it means you have not become wiser. If you will become wiser, you will look at something that I should have done it this way, not that way.
By linking regret to wisdom, he allows himself to openly reflect and talk about his mistakes, which takes extreme self-confidence because most people try to look perfect and avoid talking about their mistakes. The point here isn't to dwell on your mistakes and regrets. It's to use those regrets to figure out your priorities.
I think I have wasted a lot of time. It's a serious question, so I'll give you a serious answer. I used to drink, I was a drunkard, and I left drinking on the 31st of July 1991. And I feel that I have wasted at least 10 years, 6 months here, 3 months there, 1 year there, so on, in grand total at least 10 years drinking.
So in order to do what we've discussed in the video, confidence isn't enough. You need something deeper, and that is self-esteem. Self-esteem is your reputation with yourself. First way to develop self-esteem is to practice personal integrity. This means making sure your actions match with your personal values and ideals. In his case, as an artist and a member of parliament, he worked to get India's Copyright Act amended because he saw that artists were being exploited by music companies.
I met Mrs. Gandhi, Manmohan Singh, then Arun Jaitley. When Arun Jaitley held the throne, he was the leader of the opposition. He said, "This is a gentleman's promise that we will help you." Mrs. Gandhi reacted so strongly. I would show her the contracts. I saw her face turn red when she read that. And she said, "I'll talk to the Prime Minister, ab jaake unse milye."
Now, anyone can live in accordance with their values when it's easy, but values are only valuable when they are tested. Here's what happened after the law was passed through Parliament.
No.
Is it true that after this bill was passed, you started getting shunned by
Yeah.
Hindi film producers
Till
and
today.
music companies, and you were not getting work at all? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. But it doesn't matter. It was too late.
So write down what you value most in your life. It can be health, relationships, status, family, or money. And then point out the areas in which you are not taking action according to your values. Then slowly change your actions to make sure you are moving closer towards your values. But the most important way to build lasting self-esteem is to be responsible to reality. This means integrating your inner world with external reality.
जाता हूँ 5 स्टार होटल में, स्वीट्स है, बड़े डबल बेड हैं, उन पे मैं लेटता हूँ कभी, तो मैं याद करता हूँ कि जब मैं 3rd क्लास कंपार्टमेंट में आया था बॉम्बे, तो there was no place to sit.
At this point, he's just describing his past experience, and he gradually starts telling a specific anecdote about his past.
कभी सुबह ट्रॉली पे वो नाश्ता लेके आता है, ब्रेकफास्ट पूरा, बटर, जैम और हाफ फ्राइड एग्स, कॉफ़ी.
Watch how he integrates his inner emotional experience of that moment.
हाफ फ्राइड एग्स, कॉफ़ी, तो तेरी औकात. अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि ये ब्रेकफास्ट मेरा नहीं, किसी और का है जो मुझे मिल गया. घट हो जाए.
He's allowing himself to feel the full emotional impact of that memory. This is perhaps the deepest layer of self-esteem, self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is just refusing to reject yourself. Step 1 is to be willing to experience what you think, feel, or want without denying it. What we saw from him was a very healthy level of self-acceptance, which is acknowledging all of your emotions as parts of yourself, but not the entirety of yourself. In your life, this means that when you are confronted with a difficult thought or emotion, instead of looking away, try to look closer. If all of this feels like a lot, there are 5 simple layers of self-confidence. And if you want to know which level you are at and how you can quickly get to the next level, watch this video on screen.